Are you a man who feels a profound, almost unsettling depth within you? A man whose mind races with ideas and possibilities, who senses there is a higher purpose, a divine mission encoded into your very being? And do you feel a strange sense of dread when the world presents you with its most cherished prize, the promise of conventional love and marriage? If a part of your soul recoils from this picture-perfect ideal, you are not broken, you are not cold, you are on the verge of a profound awakening. This message is a key, a frequency meant only for those who are ready to unlock it. Stay with me, for we are about to decode the greatest lie ever sold to powerful men. What you will learn will not just save your relationships, it will save your soul. If these words resonate with the truth stirring within you, let the universe know you've received this transmission. Acknowledge it, affirm it in the comments with, "I am not alone," and join the tribe of sovereign souls who are choosing to awaken. A quote echoes through the corridors of time, a whisper from the great philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, a man who dared to declare that God is dead. He said, "Many short follies, that is what you call love, and your marriage puts an end to many short follies with one long stupidity." This wasn't merely the cynical remark of a lonely man. It was a divine warning, a flare sent up from the battlefield of the soul to alert you to a danger so pervasive, so beautifully disguised, that most men walk willingly into its embrace. He saw that everything you have been taught to believe about love, as society packages and sells it, is a beautiful, intricate lie. Marriage, in its conventional form, is not the culmination of love. It is the ultimate trap of the collective, the herd's most ingenious device. Its purpose is not to elevate you but to tame you. It is designed to domesticate the wild, untamable fire of your spirit, to chain your divine will to power, and to bury the dangerous, world-changing individual you were born to become. We are about to peel back the shimmering, intoxicating layers of this beautiful lie. I ask you to set aside all your preconceived notions, to silence the voices of societal expectation, and to look at this institution through the unflinching, clarifying lens of Nietzsche's philosophy. Let us begin with the first and most foundational illusion, the greatest lie ever sold. Right now, at this very moment, countless men are standing at altars, slipping rings on fingers, and uttering the words, "I do." They are celebrated, applauded, and welcomed into the fold. But they have no idea, not the slightest inkling, that they have just signed their own spiritual death warrant. I don't speak of a physical death, but something far more tragic. The death of who they could have become. The death of the artist, the inventor, the explorer, the revolutionary that resided within them. Friedrich Nietzsche saw this trap being set over 150 years ago. He saw how the energy of man, his drive, his ambition, could be cleverly redirected. Listen again to his exact words, feel their vibrational truth. Many short follies, that is what you call love. And your marriage puts an end to many short follies, with one long stupidity. One long stupidity. Let that sink into your being. What is truly happening at every wedding ceremony? Society is celebrating the successful capture of another dangerous man. Another soul with the potential to disrupt, to create, to forge his own path, has chosen to become safe. To understand this, I need you to picture something in your mind's eye. Imagine a wild stallion, powerful, untamed, its muscles rippling as it runs free across endless plains. It is a force of nature, embodying pure, unbridled life force, the very essence of the will to power. Its spirit is magnificent because it is free. Now, picture that same stallion in a stable. It is well-fed, well-groomed, safe from predators, but its eyes have lost their fire. Its spirit is broken. It is no longer a force of nature. It is a domestic animal, useful and predictable. This is what Nietzsche saw in the institution of marriage. This is the transformation that society celebrates. And in the next 20 minutes, I am going to show you exactly how this system of control works, why even the most intelligent and powerful men fall for it, and what happens to the rare few who don't. But first, we must completely dismantle the biggest lie you've ever been told. Nietzsche wrote in his masterpiece, "Thus spoke Zarathustra," a simple yet earth-shattering command. You must become who you are, not who your parents want you to be, not who society deems acceptable, not who your partner needs you to be, who you are in your most authentic, divine essence. But marriage is society's masterpiece of manipulation. It is dressed up in white gowns and champagne toasts. They make it look romantic, beautiful, something to aspire to. They sell it as the ultimate destination for a man's heart. Stay with me, because what I am about to reveal will forever change your perception of every couple you know. Strip away the ceremony, the flowers, the vows. What is left? A contract. A social and legal contract that fundamentally transforms your energy. It redirects your divine life force away from dangerous self-creation and channels it into paying bills, mowing the lawn, and maintaining the status quo. It is a system that takes your potential for building empires, for creating masterpieces, for discovering new frontiers, and funnels it into raising someone else's children and ensuring the stability of the tribe. Think I'm wrong? Look around you. Name one married man you know who is more dangerous, more revolutionary, more unpredictable today than he was when he was single. I'll wait. Here's what they don't want you to know. The same society that tells you marriage is beautiful needs you to be married. It needs you to be predictable, because married men don't rebel. They don't ask uncomfortable questions. They don't build competing systems. They are too busy being too useful. Nietzsche warned us about this very phenomenon. He said, "The individual has always had to struggle not to be overwhelmed by the tribe. Marriage is how the tribe overwhelms you. And it does not do it through overt force, but through the most powerful weapon of all, love." But there is something even more sinister at play, something that goes deeper than social control. Something Nietzsche's own mentor discovered, a force that operates on a biological level, using your own body against your highest calling. This brings us to the second layer of the illusion, the herd's perfect trap. I have a quick question for you, a question I want you to truly consider. Who actually benefits when you get married? The honest answer is, not you, not the authentic you, not the higher self that yearns for greatness. Think about it from every angle. Nietzsche had a term for the invisible force that governs this transaction, herd morality. It's the morality of the collective, a system of values created not by the strong but by the weak, designed to protect the group and suppress the exceptional individual. He wrote, "The herd is a means, no more, but they lack the higher men to whom this means should be of use." Let me translate that into a vibrational frequency you can feel. The crowd, the collective, society, it needs you far more than you need it. What happens when you get married? Your bachelor friends, they lose their wingman, a source of adventure and unpredictability. Your parents? The pressure to produce grandchildren is finally off their backs. They can relax, knowing you have conformed. And society at large? It gains another taxpayer, another rule follower. Another man who won't rock the boat because he now has responsibilities. He has been successfully integrated into the matrix. But what do you get in return for this sacrifice? You get what Nietzsche called the destruction of your will to power. This isn't just a desire for dominance. It is the fundamental, intrinsic drive of all life to grow, to expand, to overcome obstacles, to create, to express its fullest potential. It is your soul's purpose made manifest. It is your drive to create, to overcome, to become something greater than you are. Take a moment and picture a young man you know, maybe a version of your younger self, the one from college with a fire in his eyes and a universe of dreams in his heart. The one who started 3 businesses before he was 25, who traveled to a dozen countries on a shoestring budget, who learned 4 languages just for the thrill of it. Where is he now? He's a suburban dad. His life revolves around soccer practice and PTA meetings. His Instagram feed, once a tapestry of mountain climbing and spontaneous adventures, is now a monotonous scroll of meal prep photos and family vacations to Disney World. What happened to him? The herd happened. He was tamed. Nietzsche understood something that most people miss entirely. We live in a state of herd mentality. It is the primal instinct of the weak to follow, to obey, to surrender their individual will to the rhythm of the crowd. He wrote, "The herd, man in Europe today, gives himself the appearance of being the only permissible kind of man. But you are not here to be permissible, you are here to be powerful. So how does the herd control the powerful, dangerous men without using force? How does it tame the rebels without breaking them? Simple. It makes them volunteers. Marriage is the act of voluntary domestication. You walk willingly into the cage, you lock the door yourself, and you call it love. And here is the most twisted part of the entire mechanism. You will defend your cage. You will call it maturity, growth, responsibility, love. You will attack those who question it, labeling them as cynical, damaged, or afraid of commitment. But Nietzsche would ask you, are you living, or are you merely existing? When was the last time a married man truly surprised you? When was the last time one of them took a real, soul-shaking risk? When did they last start something revolutionary? They can't. The cage won't let them. But do you know who did change the world? The ones who stayed free. Isaac Newton, who unlocked the fundamental laws of physics, never married. Nikola Tesla, who revolutionized electricity and envisioned a world of free energy, remained celibate his entire life to focus on his work. Leonardo da Vinci, the ultimate Renaissance genius, lived a solitary life dedicated to art and invention. René Descartes, the father of modern philosophy, never married. And it's not just historical figures. Look at our modern world. Oprah Winfrey built a media empire that reshaped modern culture. She chose a lifelong partnership without the contract of marriage. Condoleezza Rice became one of the most powerful women in the world as Secretary of State, focused on changing the world, not on wedding plans. And, of course, Nietzsche himself. Do you notice a pattern here? The people who truly reshape reality don't follow the script. They write their own. But the pressure to conform isn't just social. It runs deeper. It is embedded in your very DNA, a biological trap that is even more insidious than the herd's morality. It's a force within you that is actively trying to kill your dreams. This leads us to the most intimate deception of all, the biology trap. Your own DNA is trying to sabotage your divine mission. Arthur Schopenhauer, the philosopher who profoundly influenced Nietzsche, discovered something that will detonate the foundations of what you call love. He uncovered a truth so raw and unsettling that it can blow your mind wide open. He wrote, with chilling clarity, "All love is rooted in the sexual impulse alone." Let me translate this for you. What you experience as romantic love, that intoxicating, all-consuming feeling, is a lie. It is a beautiful, elaborate illusion your genes tell you to trick you into the one thing they care about, reproducing. Think back to every relationship you've ever had. Remember that feeling? The obsession, the constant thoughts, the sensation of, "I can't live without her." That wasn't love. That was biology. Schopenhauer called it the will to life, a blind, insatiable, primal force that courses through every living thing. This force doesn't care about your art, your business, your spiritual growth, or your individual happiness. It has one singular, relentless goal: to perpetuate the species. It uses the other person as bait, creating a powerful illusion of completion and perfect union to ensure that you fulfill your biological function. Once that function is served, the illusion often fades, leaving two people trapped in a contract they entered under a spell. This is why Nietzsche's warning about one long stupidity is so critical. You trade a lifetime of potential, of becoming, for a fleeting biological trick. And once you're in the cage with children and a mortgage, the system has you. Your energy is now permanently redirected. You are no longer a dangerous creator. You are a provider, a protector, a cog in the machine of societal continuation. But there is another type of man, a man who sees this trap, who feels the pull of biology and the pressure of the herd, but chooses differently. This is the man who faces what the philosophers call the absurd and says yes to his own freedom. This is the man who understands that true power lies not in conforming, but in rebelling against the very fabric of his biological and social programming. These are the rebels, the freedom fighters of the soul. Let's look at a modern example. Meet James Cameron. Divorced, remarried, divorced again. Each time, he chose his creative vision over the demands of a conventional relationship. He refused to let his partnerships dilute his will to power. The result? Titanic, Avatar. Revolutionary, world-changing filmmaking that pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. Cameron understood what the philosopher Albert Camus meant by rebellion. It is the refusal to let others' expectations, or even the universe's indifference, define your limits. It is the courageous act of creating your own meaning in a meaningless world. Now, meet Elon Musk. Divorced, remarried, divorced again. Each time, he chose his mission to revolutionize transportation, to make humanity a multi-planetary species over conventional happiness. The result? Tesla, SpaceX. He is literally changing the world. Do you think these men succeeded despite their relationship failures? Or did they succeed because they consistently prioritized their authentic, divine calling over social approval and the comfortable illusion of domestic bliss? This brings us to a philosopher who faced this choice more directly, more painfully than anyone. A man who stood at the very altar of decision and had to choose between the love of his life and his own authentic selfhood. Søren Kierkegaard was 27, deeply in love, and engaged to the most beautiful woman in Copenhagen, Regin Olsen. The wedding was planned. The guests were invited. The future was secured, a future of comfort, respectability, and love. Then, the night before the ceremony, Kierkegaard made a choice that scandalized society and changed philosophy forever. He walked away, not because he didn't love her. He loved her desperately his entire life. He walked away because he understood a terrifying truth he would later write about. The individual is higher than the universal. The universal is marriage, family, social approval. It is what the crowd demands. But the individual, the one who dares to define himself, answers to a higher, more terrifying calling. He wrote in his book, Fear and Trembling, about this agonizing choice. The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly the one you'll never have. Kierkegaard chose the agonizing pain of uncertainty and solitude over the slow, comfortable death of living someone else's life. Every man faces this choice, usually without even realizing it. The smooth path that everyone before you has taken: marriage, house, kids, retirement, or the rocky, uncertain path less traveled, the path of judgment, uncertainty, and the terrifying possibility of both greatness and failure. This presents us with two potential paths, two modes of existence. The first is the path of the herd, the second is the path of the rebel. But there's a twist that even Kierkegaard wrestled with. Both paths have a cost, and there is one philosopher who attempted to forge a middle ground, a rational alternative. Immanuel Kant, the great philosopher of reason, had a very different take. He stripped away the romance and the biological imperative and looked at marriage with cold, hard logic. He wrote, "Marriage is the union of two people of different sexes for the lifelong possession of each other's sexual attributes. Brutal honesty, no romance, just a contract." Kant argued in the Metaphysics of Morals that a marriage, chosen freely and rationally, could actually preserve what he called autonomy, your dignity and integrity as a free being. His vision was not of two halves making a whole, but of two complete individuals choosing a partnership based not on need or societal pressure, but on rational, mutual decision-making. It sounds appealing, doesn't it? A partnership where you keep your freedom, where you are not just a pawn of the herd, but a sovereign individual signing a deal on your own terms. Think of modern power couples like Beyoncé and Jay-Z. Both were already empires when they met. Their union did not diminish them. It multiplied their power. Both remained empires after their union. That is Kant's ideal in action. But here's the problem. Kant's vision requires perfect rationality, and humans are not rational. We are emotional, biological, social creatures. This rare type of union requires two people who already embody what Nietzsche called self-overcoming. Most marriages are not that. Most marriages are two people who are secretly terrified of being alone, choosing the security of the cage over the exhilarating, frightening freedom of their own growth. They choose comfort over challenge. Schopenhauer was right. Marrying means to halve one's rights and double one's duties. It is a trade of half your freedom for double your chains, even when entered with the best of intentions. So, I ask you now to look within yourself. Are you considering partnership from a place of what Kant called autonomy, a free, rational choice made between two whole beings? Or are you acting from what Sartre called bad faith, a desperate escape from the terrifying burden of your own freedom? Your answer to this question determines everything. And there is one final test, a thought experiment from Nietzsche himself, that will reveal the absolute truth about your motivations. Here is the final test, the ultimate question Nietzsche would ask you. Can you create your own values while partnered? I don't mean follow values, I mean create them. Can you stand with your partner and forge a new moral code, a new way of being that is unique to your union, independent of society's approval? Nietzsche famously wrote, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." But he also wrote, with equal force, "You must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame." How could you rise anew if you have not first become ashes? Conventional partnership, the kind society promotes, prevents that burning. It keeps you comfortable, safe, and ultimately unchanged. It smothers the flames of your self-overcoming. I know a man who has been married 3 times. Each divorce devastated him, not because he missed his wives, but because he never learned what Schopenhauer truly meant. A man can be himself only so long as he is alone. He remarried within months each time, not because he found the right person, but because he was desperate to fill the void of his own uncreated self. Compare that to men who embrace what Camus called lucid indifference, the ability to be whole and complete without needing anyone else to validate you. These men either remain powerfully single, or they forge partnerships that amplify, not dilute, Nietzsche's will to power. So, here is your choice. It is the same one every great philosopher has faced. Path 1. Follow the script. Get married, because it's time. Build the life everyone expects. Be safe. Be comfortable. Be approved of. Or, Path 2. Build yourself first. Become what Nietzsche calls who you are. Forge your own values, your own mission. Then, and only then, choose a partnership if it serves your authentic becoming. The path of the herd is easy. The path of the creator is dangerous. But dangerous men change the world. Safe men just maintain it. The question is not which path is right. The question is which path leads to self-overcoming, to becoming the person you were truly meant to be. As Nietzsche wrote in Thus Spoke Zarathustra, what is great in man is that he is a bridge and not an end. Your life is not a destination, it is a crossing. If this message has challenged something deep within you, if it has made you question the assumptions you've never dared to question, then write in the comments, "I choose becoming over belonging." Let us see how many men are ready to face what the great minds have faced, the terror and the profound beauty of authentic choice. And if you are ready to go even deeper, if you are prepared to destroy even more illusions about modern life, then you know what to do next. Because marriage is just one trap the herd uses to tame dangerous men. There are others, and knowing them might save not just your relationships, but your very soul.